From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello, I'm Alison Mitchell and welcome to Stumped. With me for the ABC in Sydney is Jim Maxwell, and Chari Sharma for Akashvani is in Trivandrum this week. Now, South Africa have never won the 50-over Women's World Cup, but they have featured in the semi-final of the last two editions and made the final of the last two T20 World Cups. We're dropping in on their camp as we continue our build-up to the ODI Women's World Cup, which gets underway in India and Sri Lanka, with 8 teams competing for the trophy. South Africa have named their squad, with no place for the former captain Dane van Niekerk, who recently reversed her international retirement. But there are a handful of players who will be going to a 50-over World Cup for the very first time. And one of those is all-rounder and rising star Annerie Dirksen. Annerie, welcome to Stumped and congratulations on making the squad. Before we get into the South Africa team, can you tell us a little bit more about you and how you got into the game? Because you grew up in a very rural setting in South Africa, didn't you?
Yes. I grew up on a farm far away from everything. So I think my brother was basically my only friend. I played netball when I was little and he played rugby. So he didn't enjoy netball too much and I didn't enjoy him hurting me in rugby. So, I think we sort of found a middle ground in cricket. But I never obviously expected to do it professionally. And I think now, if I look back, I think the first time I really noticed women cricket was the 2017 ODI World Cup in England. So, to now be going to the ODI World Cup is a real honour and it's sort of full circle to me.
Yeah. What was your exposure to cricket then? How did you sort of get that visibility on it when you were flung out on the farm?
Like I said, I just sort of played with my brother. He played for a little school like in our town. I think they had 2 little players, so the coach just sort of asked me if I could possibly play for them. I sort of just did it for the fun, and then like I said, sort of saw the 2017 World Cup on TV and I was like, oh, there's women's cricket in the world. So that's probably when I started taking it seriously.
Yeah, and you're often described, well, we said it then, a rising star in this South African team, and you were the ICC's Emerging Cricketer of the Year 2024. Do you feel like you are on the rise?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's quite funny. Like, I didn't even know that it existed. I think cricket's a funny game and you can be humbled very quickly. I think for me it's important to be grateful for every opportunity that I get and just keep on putting in the hard yards and the hard work, and obviously very experienced to have a lot of experienced players and people who are willing to share their knowledge with me around me. So I'm just grateful for every opportunity that I get at the moment.
Welcome to the world of cricket. You sound very energized, fresh and ready to go. But I notice you started your cricket as a spin bowler, now you're a seam bowler. What brought to that transition?
I was a spinner until about, I think, 4 years ago. I just messed around one day in the nets and sort of was bowling a bit of seam to one of the batters. And I think one of the coaches and our analyst at the Proteas currently saw me bowl a bit of seam, and they're like, you cannot be a spinner, you need to be a seamer. And I think the transition sort of started there. When we're playing in sort of 45-degree heat in the subcontinent, I do regret that decision a little bit, but it's really nice running in and bowling a couple of bounces. Really been working hard at my bowling over the last couple of months, so hopefully I can contribute in some positive ways.
I noticed that your hero worship kind of began in 2017 when you saw the much-loved Marizanne Kapp doing her best for South Africa against England in a ODI semi-final. So if she is the heroine, as it were, what's it like to be playing alongside her now?
It's absolutely amazing. I think sort of a lot's been made of myself and Marizanne. I think it's just because we sort of do the same things, like seeming all-rounder. But no, I think she's in a class above. The way she prepares and just how competitive she is. I'm very grateful. She's sort of taken me under her wing and given me a lot of advice even on the field and off the field. And I really enjoy conversations with her. I feel that she has a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and yeah, super grateful that she's willing to share that with me. Yeah, she's definitely been a major part in my growth over the last couple of years.
By the way, you can emulate a lot of the top cricketers of the world by bowling both seam and spin when the occasion requires. So watch out for that. Garfield Silver.
I've been trying to get the bowling coach to allow me to do it, but he doesn't want to. So
spoil sport.
That's South Africa's lost, let me tell you. All right, you've been a part of the training camp for the World Cup now, and I've got to ask you, you mentioned it's a full circle for you. No, new circles is about to start. Is there a winning feeling in the squad? We can do it.
Yeah, I think so. I've mentioned a couple of times that we obviously lost the final last year and the year before. So I think last year we sort of sat down the day after, and it really hurt us as a squad and as a management, and everyone was sort of hurting. And we said, listen, guys, the only thing we can do now is look to the future and sort of start planning already then and there how we're going to try and win the next one. Yeah, cricket's obviously a funny game and it can go either way, but I think we've had a lot of camps and a lot of good preparation. So yeah, the squad is buzzing, and yeah, I think we're in a good spot, and hopefully we can bring one home.
Well, we need a new champion. If not India, then South Africa. All right. Alison did mention that Danny Nikek will not be part of the World Cup squad, but she has come out of retirement, and her presence at the pre-tournament training camp, was that important, significant? Did she share a lot?
Yeah, this is the first time I've sort of played with Danae. She retired just before I got into the space. But yeah, I've always looked up to her as a young kid as well. She's obviously was the captain of the national side. So yeah, she's only been kind to me. I've sort of spoken to her a bit when she was on commentary and stuff. So yeah, she's been very kind, and sort of to have her back in the space has been really cool. She's got a lot of experience, and yeah, sort of picked her brain a little bit. Yeah, she's got probably one of the best cricket brains in world cricket, I think. Yeah, so it was really awesome to have her there and sort of pick her brain about a couple of stuff. And yeah, hopefully she can get back into our structures soon.
South Africa winning the World Test Championships. That's got to be inspiring.
That was incredible. I think we were in West Indies at the time, and we got up at I think we had a game, and we got up at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and everyone sort of almost missed the bus to the game just to watch that final moments. A couple of us were in tears, and yeah, obviously goosebump stuff. I think to see the effect it has had on our country is amazing. I think young kids is obviously looking up to the Springboks for very long, and now they're sort of looking up to the Proteas also. I think we'll sort of see the ripple effect of that when in our cricket coming through. And yeah, I think our men is doing really well at the moment as well in England and recently in Australia. So yeah, I think South African cricket is in a good spot.
Yeah, and you have the power to inspire as well. Now, when you go to India and Sri Lanka, your opening game is against England. How much are you talking about that as a game to target?
I don't know what the right answer is, but not much. Yeah, I think we've just been focusing on ourselves at the moment. I haven't really been looking too much towards opposition. I think we still got a series against Pakistan. So that will be good preparation for us. I think sort of similar conditions to what we might face in India with the heat. But yeah, for the moment, we're just focusing on ourselves, getting some real good game plans in place. And then I think as we get to closer to game time, we'll sort of start narrowing in on opposition and maybe some plans for some specific players and stuff like that. But yeah, for the moment, just focusing on ourselves and how we can be the best, I guess.
Now, significantly, the winners of this World Cup will take home more prize money than the Australian men got for winning the last World Cup in 2023. In fact, the whole prize pot has risen almost fourfold from the last ODI World Cup in New Zealand back in 2022. Did you know that was coming? And just how significant is this for women's cricket?
I didn't know it was coming. I didn't even see the announcement. I was just on the bus and someone mentioned it and I was like, what? Yeah, that's crazy. It actually blew my mind a little bit. But I mean, I guess it's good for women's cricket. Shows that we're moving in the right direction. Yeah, and credit to the ICC and all the investors for doing that. But yeah, I don't know. We obviously don't play the game for the money, or me personally, I don't. but yeah, it's I think a nice reward and yeah, definitely can help like smaller unions and affiliates grow their game. So yeah, hopefully it goes to the right places and yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess.
Well, I'm sure you'll be hoping as a team you can put your hands on a significant chunk of that prize money. Good luck, Anne-Marie, for the upcoming tournament. Congratulations for making that squad.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Well, that is it for this week's Stumped. My thanks to Jim Maxwell and Charis Sharma and to all of you for listening. And we'll see you again next week. Until then, bye for now.